What a noise, 3,000 travelling Bristol fans. I reckon about 9,000 Worcester Warrior fans, absolutely packed house. And Sam Betty crash-smashed and bashed his way around Ashton Gate 7 days ago. He will again be key, not only with ball in hand, but also his hands on the ball, slowing Bristol's speed, his main mission and the message he will have been given all week.
As ever, Pat joined us in commentary, but from the unique and captivating viewpoint, pitchside.
Well, it has been far too long since Sixways has rocked like this. The atmosphere down here on pitchside is absolutely incredible, and it's set fair for another fantastic encounter between these two sides. The elements will not be an influence tonight. The RFU saw fit to appoint their very best in JP Doyle to adjudicate this evening, helped ably with our TMO as David Grassoff. It's going to be a cracker.
These games in the Greek King IP Championship final were always going to be about fine margins. We have the finest of margins between them. A single point, a place in the Premiership awaits the winner. The biggest game in the Championship's 6-year history.
Kick straight away from Ryan Lamb. I thought his first 40 minutes was spectacular. Again, still everyone thinking he's going to go right for the forwards this time. He was right on Lemmy. Cooper Werner was chasing, so advantage straight away for Worcester Warriors, putting pressure on the Bristol lineup.
Incredible noise here at Sixways. Sell out as you would expect. Early mistake from Bristol. Taken by Mitch Eady at a fabulous first leg, didn't he? Taken back into the 22 there. JP Doyle says use it. Dwayne Peel does. Goes high, but not too far. Opening nerves out there from both teams.
It was almost like a good batting, wasn't it? Because it didn't have the distance on it. That meant that the Worcester catchers couldn't get to the ball, so he got sort of mixed up with their forwards.
Nick Robinson, as far as Chris Pennell. Two experienced players. And Robinson takes it, or he doesn't. He knocks it on. He knocks it back initially, and then it was Lemmy. Crowd on that far side saying there was a knock-on. Marco Mummy in that 6 shirt that Ryan Jones wore last week. Should just say to you, Bristol in the chain strip of red. That's Ben Mosses. Sam Betty just saying, I'm around and I'll be around all night. Here's Ryan Lamb. And it's a good touch find out from Ryan Lamb, but some real early nerves from even the most experienced characters out there.
Yeah, as you'd expect, John, the opening exchange is very, very different from last week. We all want to see that game again, don't we? It was fantastic, but this week, there isn't a free hit. You don't get a second chance. Far, far more cage in the opening exchanges, and as you can see, both teams kicking tactically.
There's big clubs, big names, big personalities and big reputations. Make no mistake, this is a really big game. Brasilia flies out. That turnover ball. Scrum half did so well, didn't he, last week? Because the first and second choice scrum half was, of course, out injured and suspended. Johnny Hart.
Driving over the rock.
Suspended. Charlie Mulcrunch hobbling around on crutches. And Jack Land comes right through the centre of that breakdown. Hands all over Brasilia. First penalty to the Warriors.
And Pat is absolutely right. That's great jumping there from James Percival. Mike Williams in the midfield. Again, Betty's just hold down there, but the pressure you can see, not only pushing in the scrum, Percival, he can get up in the line out. And again, it's at the moment, it's just one way coming from Worcester Warriors. They're putting pressure on the breakdown and forcing Bristol to give the penalties away.
Yeah, a big difference from Bristol defensively this week as well. And in the opening exchanges last week, we saw them competing heavily on the ground. They became over tight. They really struggled in the wider channels as a result. This week, very little competing on the ground. All 15 men in the line. Much less space for Worcester's outside backs.
And you'd make a case for that penalty, that it's kickable from that kind of range. But Worcester go for the corner and then they use this weapon. This driving maul, which has seen many, many teams this season fall foul of it. But it hasn't gone right this time. We spoke to Dean Ryan earlier, and he said he wants his team to continue to play like that, to go for those lineups, to go for those drives, to go for those 5-7 point gambles.
Well, they've got the power to do it. You can see that Bristol have tried to derail him a little bit. They split the sort of two, well, they split the pod into two and eventually brought it down. Forced the mistake from Worcester. But again, Worcester want them down here now. Dwayne Peel going to get this pretty, I wasn't going to say straight because it never is, pretty correct. Out to Robinson and exit. You can see the crucial area. It was last week. It has been throughout the championship. It always is when you come to big games, the scrum. And for me, they've got three kings in the front row. Worcester with Ruskin, the Georgian, Creevy, the Argentinian, Shonner, the South African. Not bad. Not bad pedigree. And they know exactly what job they've got to do now.
Remember the penalty try came for a scrum, didn't it, last week? Two props, two tie props in the bin at one time.
The discipline as well. You've got to keep the discipline. Cortez didn't.
Penalty to Bristol on that side. Nearest JP Doyle. It's Cortez's side, isn't it? Up against Ruskin. It's young Georgian. Talk about that discipline, Dad. It's what did for Bristol last week with those 2 yellow cards. It's what did for Worcester here in round 22 when Bristol won here. Of course, Bristol have beaten Worcester here already this season. Penalty against Robinson again. Here's Creevy, brilliant in that first leg. Again, Bristol are penalised. It's Cortez this time. He wins a penalty at the scrum, gives one away at the breakdown. And this is kickable.
It is kickable, but Chris Pennell again, good communication. Didn't quite know how close he was to that touchline. He batted the ball back in. Basically just retained it and then put a super cut kick back in, and it was just Nicky Robinson. There you go. The communication from Biggs. And then he goes up and he chases his own kick. Heavily strapped, not as much as last week. And Nicky Robinson there, not in the best position. Pennell will take those all day coming onto the ball. The infringement happens. And Worcester with the first chance, and we know what Lammy could do with the ball in hand. Sensational, especially in that first 40, but only kicked 2 out of 6.
Absolutely right. There's 9 points last week. Tweeted last week after the game, has anyone found a pair of kicking boots lying around? He would like to think he's found them. Reaction from the impish Ryan Lamb. It's a drill one right through the middle, and it's 3-0 to Worcester. The advantage is 4.
He's found them. Lovely strike of the ball, didn't overdo it, got the procedure right, straight through the middle.
When you consider that over the last 3 encounters, only 9 points separates these two teams, perhaps it's mistakes like that from Nicky Robinson missing touch that could be the difference between these two sides.
I wonder where you got that stat from, Pat. Robinson, Mosses, he just has that ability now. You've touched on it already, just to turn up at the right time. Rotherham last year in the semi-final. Round 1 at Ashton Gate between these two sides. And a blinding game here at Sixways in round 22. But of course, this is Bristol, 3rd final. Robinson is through. Where's this kick going? Lemmy, can he control it? Cooper Vuna goes back. The finest of margins we said this game is going to be decided upon. Is that one of those fine margins?
No, don't go in, leave him, Chris, leave him. JP, come on,
One mistake, one end, 3 points. Another mistake, t'other, and this will look like 3. And JP Doyle doing the right thing to Dwayne Peel. Just calm things down. Holding on to the ball. It was a superb break from Nicky Robinson. He's off.
They've taken it, and it's not done from Marco Mama. has to be 3 points, Darren.
Well, it has to be attempted 3 points, definitely. Brilliant if it comes off. It's despair if it doesn't. And I think it's the latter. Brilliant break from Robinson. They're all looking for the big forward. It's a good pass from Markham. Michini runs the decoy. Robinson through the middle. And watch it for Lemmy. His hand goes up, the call comes up. And if that ball bounces forward, he gets into his breadbasket, he's over the try line. Cooper Vunner does well, then he gives the penalty away. Little bit of a scuffle. Quick tap, and it goes to nothing. Brasilia, the scrum half, sweeping round the back, and a chance to gain 3 points, to draw this one game to be only 1 point behind in the aggregate has gone from Bristol.
Peel possibly caught up in the emotion. Little scuffle after the breakdown, wasn't there? It's Robinson again, but there's more space for Lemmy again. Pennell. Good tackle from him. Said this opening 10 minutes would be fascinating. 3-0 to Worcester so far. Brooker. Van Veltz with a bear-like hug tackle. Robinson.
He's playing flat today, isn't he?
Wrapped up by Ruskin. Bristol on the surge here. Jack Lamb rather stopped on the pass. Ryan Lamb. And Ryan Mills taken down, but illegally. And it's Creevy goes over the top, and JP Doyle at the moment is not liking the work of Worcester on the floor.
Assist tackler, no release.
What did Bristol do from this penalty?
It's the Bristol of old. It's the Bristol of old. All last year, they turned down the 3 points and went to the corner. It didn't do any favours in the end. London Welsh got promoted, and they're turning 3 points down again because that is a very kickable penalty. You remember Nicky Robinson came down here in that last league game, 6 out of 6, I believe, Mr. Hammond. So they've gone for the corner, they've gone for the gamble. Will it pay off?
Well, part one is done. Michini's taken it. Worcester tried a similar kind of gamble, didn't it?
Once
says JP Doyle. They got one more chance. Jack Lamb is there. That's the 5 metre line.
tackle, 8 tackle.
It's gone down to ground though.
Use it.
Bristol, I guess, from their point of view, hoping to hammer home this advantage. They feel they're the ones going forward, but it squirts out, and Ryan Lamb takes it, but then he knocks it off, and we're playing advantage again. And the incredible spectacle that leg one was continues in this opening 12 minutes of the second leg of this Green King IPA Championship final. Go back for the knock-on. Do these two teams realise they're in the final? They're 70 minutes away from the Premiership.
I think one does, and they're playing in blue, and Ryan Lamb intercepted that ball and just failed to hold on to it. But again, you've got to say, well, 3 points was turned down. That was right in front of the post. They've gone for the corner. That didn't happen. So they've lost another, possibly 3. Look, it's if they get it, it's a fantastic psychological blow. Just saying, right, we've taken you to the corner, we've thrown the ball in, we've mauled it back, and we've scored. Well, they haven't. So really, they've got to get something off this set move now.
Yeah, well, I kept a close eye on the Bristol coaching staff when he took that quick tap, and they were quite animated. But when that second penalty was given, Mark Bennett came right onto the pitch and was talking to his players. This is clearly a tactic of Bristol. They want to press home the advantage early doors and really try and ramp up the pressure on Worcester. It's a massive, massive gamble in a game so tight.
But Dean Ryan spoke about it with Bill in that pre-match interview, didn't he? Get control of that scoreboard early. Both coaching teams obviously feel that's really, really key in this game.
Yeah, I think they're absolutely right, because as this game wears on, the pressure increases. I think we're due to get some rain later on. It's going to make execution that much more difficult. And at that point, it's going to be all, you don't want the ball, it's just going to be a smash fest. And if you're ahead at that point, you hold all the aces.
Last week, it was Worcester getting the penalties at scrum time early on. This time, it is Bristol, and Dwayne Peel walks away. There's no quick tap penalty this time.
There is
point to the post.
There is a Nicky Robinson's gone straight for the post. I think his forwards need a slight breath of air. They're on their haunches. Cortez is down. They've exerted a lot of pressure for no result. No points so far. This really should be 3 for the Welshman. Andy Robertson looks on Sean Holley on our left, his right, in pensive mood.
As you say now, it's 6-6 against Worcester here 4 weeks ago. But around 70% for the season for Nick Robinson. Kevin Henson has been the main kicker the majority of the last couple of months. And remember, his kicking in the second leg of the final last year. Needs a confident start as he brought it round. It's off the post. Then Mike Williams drops it. And then Ryan Mills tries to run himself out of trouble. For the first time since kickoff, Sixways goes slightly silent. They can't quite believe what they just saw.
Well, psychologically, when we look at the opening exchanges, that is first blood to Worcester. Bristol have thrown the kitchen sink at them. At every opportunity to put pressure and to break this Worcester defence, they took and they failed. And right now, Worcester will feel very relieved, but I would suspect quite buoyant at the fact that they know that they can hold this Bristol pack even when they're fresh.
5 tries last week, wasn't it, that Worcester score against Bristol. They feel they're confident in their ability that they will score against Bristol tonight. Similarly, Bristol, with this midfield they've got playing tonight, they feel they can score as well. Percival is putting himself around Mama and Edie, these two members of the Bristol Academy who come through the ranks, know what it means. Nick Robinson is up against a prop in his second row. Lemmy loves these broken field situations. Brazulia just about caught him. Mama and Mosses. Huge hit from Van Velt's.
Throwing the ball 6.
And he just rolled the wrong way. And Bristol will have another penalty. What a hit from Van Velt's and Betty, though.
There's
no way through at the moment.
There isn't, because again, every time Bristol are hitting the ball up, they're very narrow and becoming targets. Nicky Robertson, that ball has just been sort of turned over slightly, but it's come back on the Bristol side, looking for Lemmy back inside. A great little half tackle from Brazulia just to slow him down. And then it starts again. Mama, as the first receiver, puts the ball back, and then Betty, as he did 7 days ago, smashes anything in front of him. This is a lovely little move. Again, he didn't overplay it, waited for the call. Lemmy, the experienced winger, just holds up there. Brazulia just with that hold, and this is that big hit. 2 back row forwards, Van Velsen and Betty in tandem.
Psychology will play a huge part tonight. What's going through his mind? Hit the post with the first one. Won't miss from there, Nick Robinson. We're all square on the night. But the important score is the one in your white box, the aggregate score. 32-31 to Worcester. Back to a single point, basically all square. Closest ever championship final involved Worcester, didn't it? 2011 against the Pirates. It was 14 points on aggregate in the end. That was the closest ever final. And Bristol, who had been in 2 before this year's final, against Exeter in 2010, London Welsh last year, yet to win a championship final game. Williams off to Leicester next season. Some of the hits he put in last week, you can see why Leicester wants it. Grove trying to just turn Wallace. Robinson. This one won't find touch again. Lamb has Pennell. And then Cooper Vooney, you could see what Pennell was trying to do, just trying to get past that first defender and then Give it to that man, Cooper Vuna. Lamb flies one out again for Creevy. Inside flick from the Puma. Like Williams off at the end of tonight. Probably not literally the end of tonight, but the end of this season.
I know what you mean. Again, Lamb has just started again moving his ball through his hands. He's got a fantastic skill set, a great array of passing.
Spraying it around, isn't he? Williams again, both sides not committing too many to the ruck. Lamb, nice and flat again. Grow, half caught by Tubby. And then Sorensen had to come in to finish the job. Ryan Mills, second distributor. They are getting on the outside of Bristol again.
They are. And just as I start praising Lamb, and even Ryan Mills, who does stand in that second receiver role, just put two balls down on the grass. But again, you can see what they're doing. They want to give that ball to Cooper Vuna of Australia, out on the wide outside. This time, Bristol know all about him. That try he scored in the corner in that first leg. Went inside Lemmy, outside Wallace. They're very wary now of his potential try scoring.
Two clubs all set up for the Premiership behind the scenes, the academies, the stadiums, the supporters, the backing, it's all there. That's the prize, isn't it? There's 60 minutes left. Sixways crowd being that was forward. Play on, says JP Doyle. Sorensen, no Ian Evans, of course. No Ryan Jones. No Gavin Henson. Russ McMillan. For Bristol. No Andy Simmons, no Max Stelling. He didn't quite make it. Was borderline for this game. Max Stelling, the outside centre, who's had a superb season already. Spoken about the scrum halves, of course.
And again, good from Peel, the right decision. Kicking to Cooper Vuna, not known for his ability to kick long, but he can do that, and that's what you want. A rock at the back, and Chris Pennell has been that for so many years for Worcester Warriors.
And if you kick it to Cooper Vuna, it had to be behind him, doesn't it?
Well,
if he's coming onto it,
you've got to kick to compete in a sense, don't you? You just don't kick to him loose, because he will seriously damage you.
Saw the issues that London Scottish Mike Friday's side had against Cooper Vuna in the semi-final here. Second leg. Ryan Lamb was sniffing at interceptions. Do you think Sean Harley, speaking to him, head coach of Bristol before the game, said there will be an interception tonight? What money you'd get for that? Odds. Marco Mama, a little feint and then on to Edie. Edie, that sumptuous line for his try last week.
Sorry, Johnny. The interception was nearly there. He was nearly gone.
That's freaky.
That is freaky, but luckily for Bristol, you're talking about Lamb being out flat. Nicky Robinson is playing that way. Marco Mama is just standing in at outside half or inside centre sometimes. Look at that. And then the Australian, but it would have been with him. The infringement has happened. And that ball's pumped into the corner superbly.
I won't get everything.
Percival is there charging his troops. Jonathan Thomas, who I thought marshalled them superbly. Jonathan Thomas marshalled them superbly last week. That experience from the Welsh international, crucial. And now Worcester have a chance. And the 9,000 or so supporters start using their voice.
.57 minutes left, Van Belt and Creevy. Totally absorbing again, isn't it?
Let it go. No, let it go.
And its uniqueness.
I mean, really interesting. It's a game of bluff and double bluff, isn't it? Last week we saw just how effective the Worcester drive was. Bristol expecting it. Worcester go with that front peel, which we don't see very often, particularly when it's your first opportunity to get a drive going.
Marco Mama.
Leave it, Bristol!
Worcester going.
Hands in. Side entry, hands in.
For the counter
You
ruck.
guys, side entry, hands in.
Penalty, says JP Doyle.
It's Ben Glynn. He's come in for
Side
Glenn
entry,
Townsend.
hands in.
Side entry, hands in. 2 offences, 1 result for the 3 points. But interesting to see the commitment from Dwayne Peel. Again, another Welshman on the opposite side this time to Jonathan Thomas. Brought in to do a job, but he's trying his damnedest out there. Kicking and chasing balls down against Pennell. Back then in his line out and having to tackle a big Argentinian close to his line. Body on the line, Steph.
That's unique. Green King IPA Championship final. Full 160 minutes was tense. So basically, isn't it? The next 56 minutes. 1 point the difference.
Well, it's 4 halves, isn't it? 2 games, 1 result. Simple as. And every point counts.
Bish bash bosh.
Cool head.
Take your time.
Cool head. Not from what? As ever, he always sees the funny side about it. What a character.
Yeah. Very, very simple kick for Ryan Lamb. He's always played with a smile on his face, and he and the team will be smiling a little bit more now. 35-31 on aggregate.
Yeah, well, Dean Ryan said it before the game. All you've got to do is just keep control of the scoreboard and keep it ticking over. And we've seen nothing in these opening exchanges from Worcester. They're not trying anything. They're not spinning it out wide. They've hit it up and they've taken their chances when it's mattered. And that is how you win games like this. Just take those opportunities and make no mistakes.
And we said, and Dean Ryan said it in interviews this week, that the way that the manner in Worcester, and effectively in that second half last week, they had no ball at all to play with, and scoring right at the death, what kind of psychological boost does that give you? And then bring that into today. Bristol have thrown the kitchen sink at Worcester and still haven't scored.
Oh, look, I think, let's be clear, this game is absolutely wide open, and I don't think there's a soul on earth that can predict the outcome of this game. But certainly that win last week will have given Worcester the belief they needed. They'd failed on 2 previous attempts to beat Bristol. Beating them last week was absolutely critical in terms of mindset coming into this game.
The mindset here is Nicky Robinson going for another 3, the correct decision. Well within his range. Conditions are pretty good. We've got our weather girl down there, and Pitt said there's going to be a bit of rain later, but I'm not sure. I think he might just miss us. It might just miss us. And you haven't brought a coat either, again, have you?
He's no Ulrika Johnson, is he?
I'm getting bullied down here, so unfair. This is a massive kick, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've not seen a game this year which has had no momentum either way. It really is just cat and mouse today.
One from 6 in last year's second leg of the final. 1 from 2 tonight so far. He's given it too much again, Nicky Robinson. We've been talking about psychology. We've been talking about pressure. Just didn't hit it right, did he, Nicky Robinson?
He hit it, and you're right, it wasn't right. There's plenty behind it. It sounded a good strike, but navigation was off. He likes to just bring it round from left to right. That time it wasn't coming around that far.
Still 6-3 to Worcester. Still the 4-point advantage. Mitch Eady tries another one of those incredible lines. Worcester appealing for the penalty. It's Ruskin, isn't it? JP Doyle says, no, you are never back on your feet.
Well, you've got to get back on the horse. This should be slightly easier because it's right in front of the post, but after you've just missed that one, again, it's the back row doing thing. Marco Mumma, superb across the field. You think he's dragging in, and just watch this line from Mitch Eady. He scored a superb try, didn't he, last week? Set another one up from Lemmy, breaking out of tackles. It's the ability to come back on an angle, just come back on a soft shoulder that can make the difference.
I think that's the third penalty that Worcester have given away in exactly the same manner. Now, last week with Wayne Barnes refereeing, it probably would have been a penalty the other way, and this is the difference between the styles of these two referees. Wayne Barnes loves an open contest at the breakdown. JP Doyle, far more structured. Worcester have to adjust to this, and they have to adjust quickly.
We said the last kick was massive. Nick Robinson,
Really quick,
and
Nicky,
after
really
the last
quick.
kick, missing. And JP Doyle says quickly, and that will just ramp up the pressure
Quick as you
again.
can, please.
Stop watching top 14, don't they?
Yeah, I thought you should have stadium clocks as well. Well done.
Brilliant kick. Nick Robinson really was, after all that had gone before.
You need better accuracy.
And we're all level again tonight. Just the single point between them.
That's the experience showing there. He's on his way to Oyer now. After this game, obviously, he's going to fancy his chances in a very physical league, which is the top 14. Oyer now doing well. He played Toulouse next Saturday in the semi-final, so we wish him well, but he's got a bit of work to do first in this game. But he just showed what a quality player he is, hitting that one back.
We're turning over again. Good hands from Williams, and he got the call, didn't he? And Shonut. Lap. Penalty, yes, thought he might step off the right into Eady. Now they've spread again. Percival. Bust through Ben Glynn's tackle. Ryland comes back down this side. Where's this one bouncing? Into the arms of Pennell. And they went high and he scored. Chris Pennell, Worcester's favourite son,
I'd also like to check the
may
possibility
well
of
have
a
just
high
got the
tackle
first
stopping the
score
try.
for the second leg of this final.
Firstly for try, yes or no,
And then the possibility
and
of
then the possibility of a
above
high.
shoulders, yep.
JP Doyle wants to check.
Okay, I think when he came in, he was going to block the ball, and he clips you. But you're kicking it. Yeah, but you're kicking, he blocks it. I didn't think so.
Dwayne Peel is down again, but he's just got a panel comes in. It is Peel across, slightly high. It doesn't really matter. That is a try. He has scored that. Peel is again putting his body on the line. Every time he does that, he gingerly gets to the top. That's a try for
Okay, I got a screen
for
here
me.
beside me, DG.
I think he's about to give it.
Can you talk?
JP?
Yeah.
You may award
There you go.
the try.
Great finish from Pennell.
Take control of the scoreboard. That's why those people are on their feet. When this man re-signed for the club, it was one of the most significant moments for this club in many, many a year. Not required by England, but so instrumental to the Worcester Warriors. He is in the groove tonight. Ryan Lamb. Relaxed, almost lazy style. It's the maximum 7.
Well, just watching the build-up to that try there, as you see Chris Pennell, James Percival, instrumental on 2 carries. And straight away there he is again, catching the ball. Worcester Academy, he's playing the game of his life out there at the moment.
They just expected them to go wide on that left-hand side, didn't they, Darren? They came back on the right.
Well, it was
Lamb was almost behind the ruck. He came back
Hands
right.
on ground, then on the ball.
It was Lamb again, he got taken out, and they popped the ball through, but Pennell knew exactly what he was doing.
Okay?
And as Worcester were leaking penalties in that 10-metre area, as Pat was saying, it's now Bristol. And they're off. Lamb's seen someone on the wide outside. He wants to give it to Biggs.
Mills. Pennell. Oh, he's got through again, Pennell. Needs support now, though, as Jonathan Thomas arrives. This is what Worcester did last week. They've hammered home their advantage when they felt they had it. When Bristol had given away those yellow cards. Lamb again, just spraying out passes. Jonathan Thomas. Pennell Some people were saying he wasn't fit, he wasn't sharp, but mentally he is very, very sharp tonight, Chris Pennell. He's reading play so well.
Well, he was injured, wasn't he, for those two semi-final legs against London Scottish. Made a big impact. Whether he was carrying an injury last week, he is still strapped this week. Well, I tell you what, he knows where the try line is. This is some finish. Peel coming across, possibly goes too high. It doesn't matter. I think Pennell scoring that anyway. And Percival, two massive carries. Distribution of the ball. Brasilia gets the late call. It comes back. Here it goes. Comes off a foot, actually. Lamb puts it through. That's a classy, strong finish. Now Lamb's got to clear his head again and just pop this through the middle, and that would be some lead going into half-time.
He's found those kicking both Soray, doesn't he, Ryan Lamb? Lost them last week. He's found them this week. 4 from 4.
Well, immediately before Pennell's try from the kickoff, the Worcester players were 2-3 metres offside. Now, Bristol were going absolutely bonkers on the bench here, saying it's offside, it's offside. Normally those things don't really have a big influence on the game, but they turned that ball over, and it was from that Pennell scored, and they feel fairly aggrieved with some justification, you would say.
Big just stopped on the pass momentarily.
Use it.
They are playing, aren't they? Brasilia. Neat and tidy, isn't he?
But the problem is with that, with Biggs being on the floor, there was only one chaser, but it doesn't matter, because Sam Betty, he's everywhere again tonight.
Peel, Robinson wasn't looking, so Peel had to go by himself. Amesbury very sensibly slots in a scrum half. Moss is just coming back. Best defence in the regular season, wasn't it, Worcester? Just 40 tries conceded to Bristol's 53. Lovely run from Jack Lamb, and Peel is there again. Marco Mumma. Penalty coming. Where's that one going? That's straight out. Back for the penalty.
Time. No clear release against Worcester. GJ.
GJ Van Velt's called in.
So now we're having a very clear fault with you guys. Tackler's not releasing, not getting to the feet or putting the hands on the ground. Okay, one against you, one against 13, one against the player there. Okay, we've got to sort that out. Yeah.
So that would be the message all week: slow their ball up,
You're on it there,
but do it legally. But JP Durrell, as Pat alluded to, he knows exactly what's going on there. Get your hands off the ball quicker.
Hey, relax.
But some great little breaks there, one particularly from Dwayne Peel. He really is the heartbeat of this side. Just scans what's in front of him. He knows that door is open. Doesn't open very often, and luckily the Puma captain, from a Worcester point of view, just brings him down, or he's gone. He may have lost a half a yard of pace, but he's always on hand. Great feet work from Lamb, and he's always asking questions, whether with or without the ball.
Need this, Bristol. He's missed again. He has missed again.
Deja vu. Plenty time to go. You got 4 minutes in this half. Try and regain the kick-off, set something up. You've also got Matthew Morgan on the bench. He can kick. Might be seeing him. You might actually be seeing him coming in at 15, and that will lighten things up. If Bristol are going to chase the game, and that's a shocker from Mosses.
But you just feel, Gary, it's been... Bristol started so well, they didn't put the points on the board. Then it's been Worcester with that try. Is that one going to find Pennell again? It did, but referee said it went forward. But he is spraying them around again, Ryan Lamb. And they are finding space on the wide outside again.
That's his game, and he's hitting the big forwards, he's hitting Pennell. The telepathy's out there is pretty good, and this is a shocker from Mosses. You can see what he was trying to do with his left boot was go down that town. That's come back.
Wait till I say
That's spun backwards, and from then they're able to get field position and then really just carry on putting the pressure. Somehow Bristol have scrambled it back.
Andy Robinson knows Ben Mosses knows. He was in the centre, wasn't he, with Jack Tubby in last year's final, and it has to play on the mind now. It's been 6 years in the Championship. They were the top team.
I mean,
a couple of years now have not won any of these finals. It has to play on the mind.
It does, but there's plenty of time to fix it. It really is. There's plenty of time. There's enough experience out there, and one of those guys is putting the ball in now. Just get a bit of field position. See this half out, and all of a sudden, and just as I say, the experienced guys, and with Bristol supposedly maybe not to have total dominance, those three kings in the front row, as I call them, have just done the job, and now Lamb will just nonchalantly put this down on the floor. It was a penalty, wasn't it? Tees on, taking the clock down, and this could be another 3. The way he's striking it, probably will be.
Well, we talked last week about how important Gavin Henson is to Bristol in the form that he was in, but not least because he was their goal kicker. If Henson was playing today, I suspect this would be a 1-point game. I think Robinson's 2 from 5. And in games where the error or the small margins are just so significant, you can't afford to have a 2 from 5 and expect to be in the game. And if this kick goes over, it's a long, long way back for Bristol.
And they said it was a tight call between Henson and Mosses, and that Henson got it because of his kicking ability from the floor. Wasn't going to have a day like last week again, was he, Ryan Lamb? And just as I say that, it shanks up the side of the boot. The difference remains 11 points.
It's got 10 seconds, so the ball's in the right area. Now Worcester just need to see this off. Nothing do anything stupid. Bristol, I don't think will want to force it too much. Probably want to go downtown rather than something silly and give away another 3. Get back in the changing room. Words from Holly, words from Robinson. Regroup, and then play the biggest 40 minutes of your goddamn life.
Now just hammers it.
It's all right.
And that is it.
That's clock ticker.
The clock gone red. The difference tonight is 10 points. The difference over aggregate is 11 points. Bristol came hurtling out of the blocks. Worcester were able to absorb and then counter-punch themselves for the Crest Pennell try. 16-6 at half-time. 11-point lead, as you say. Won't bother Bristol a huge amount. You say psychologically Worcester in the driving seat, but Bristol know, as Worcester know, that Bristol can score, and they've done it in 2 or 3 fixtures already this season, haven't they, Pat?
Yeah, the last 3 times these two teams have played. Game 1, there was a 9-point deficit. At 1 point, game 2, 13 points. Last week we saw them go down by 7. I don't think 11 points will worry them too much. They are the kings of the comeback, and Worcester will know that.
They are, Pat, indeed, but they should have also stuck rather than twisted on a couple of those penalties. That, in my mind, would have put them 16-12, 4 points with the 1 aggregate 5 point. It's just a try. So, will that come back to haunt them? We will have to see, but we are in for one heck of a 40.
Talking to a member of the Bristol management before this game kicked off, they said that they felt that Worcester would take the lead. It was how their team, Bristol, reacted. They have been here before. 40 minutes. between one of these teams and the Premiership. First half, the first leg was a wash of storylines, wasn't it? Captivating and spellbinding viewing.
Superb box kick from the Worcester scrum half, and a mistake, I think, from Peel then. And Brasilia claps himself, and why not? That was absolutely on the money. Biggs just waited his time. You see so many times when wingers go up and run past the ball, take people out in the air to give the penalty away. He just bided his time, wait for the jumper to come back to earth, then smash. Peel makes the mistake.
I wanted to talk to you now about this this French Welshman, as it were. Played many of his early rugby in Wales. We saw him in the British and Irish Cup final to course Worcester at Doncaster. His third choice, didn't expect to be involved in the latter stages, up against Dwayne Peel, the man who, of course, won 97 caps for Wales, British and Irish Lion in 2005, and he's got the edge at the moment, hasn't he?
He's got the edge because I think his pack in certain exchanges have got their edge, but it's almost been seamless. He's obviously trained with the guys. He's a quality player. Dwayne Peel was his idol growing up, but he's just doing the right things at the right time. He made one break last week that gave an extra bit of a yard, caught the defence sort of going out wide for Niall Annett to score that crucial score. So his box kicking is good, his skill set is good. He just looks to service Lamb. So, you know, it's been an outstanding performance on limited games.
And you remember the one and only break he made?
Absolutely, because you're the opposite number. You always watch what scrum halves do. Some don't make breaks, some just pass the ball. Some make too many breaks, become predictable. This guy isn't, because he just gives the ball to Lamb, who was dictating the show last week. Now, he's just calmed things down, get the ball in, and I'm sure you'll be looking to box kick this. Saying that, I've just seen Biggs moving behind the pack, so it might be one of Ryan Lamb's wild and wonderful exchanges.
Already 2 minutes gone in this second half. I wonder how many times Worcester will take their time over things in this second half.
One against the head, amazing.
Bristol got one against the head. Tubby, Levy, Brasilia has got a cross. He corner flagged really well. There's his opposite number, Peel, Robinson, to Marco Mama. Exceptional first 40 minutes here. Penalty coming to Bristol here. Moses has come off the boot into the arms of Tom Biggs. Back for the penalty.
And I think the word has gone out from Bristol, if we are going to get back into this game, get this lead reversed, you boys up front have got to do something, and that is a great response. Superb response, and you can see what it does. It puts Worcester straight on the back foot. Some of the passing there could be a little more clinical. Lemmy does the right thing, doesn't overdo it, goes to the floor, gets the grass, gets the territory, quick recycle, and straight away they get a penalty, a chance of 3 points, and really Nicky Robinson should smash this right through the middle, and that's exactly what you want. Start the game 3 minutes into the second half, you've knocked 3 points off that lead.
It would be a dream start for Bristol. Just to remind you, playing in red in the change strip here at Sixways. 2 from 5 in that first half. Remember 4 weeks ago, 6 from 6 in their victory over Worcester here. Fingers crossed for the Bristol supporters. But that is straight and true from Mr. Robinson. 16-9.
Superb response from the tight 5. Superb response from Robinson. It's a simple game. You get down there, you put pressure on, the opposition makes mistakes, you capitalise, and that's all they've got to do. Claw back this lead. Now they've got to be clean, take this restart. That's good from Glynn. Recycle and exit.
Still inside, he never left. Use it inside.
Peel goes high, Pennell. To just put the foot down on the pedal just for a moment. Jack Lamb filled that space so quickly.
He's on the ball.
And it wasn't a great box kick again from Peel. It was in between. Pennell had plenty of time, but again, he didn't look to move it wide. He took it up, but just held on to it. And again, from 3 points, they've made a mistake. So it's actually perfect rugby from Bristol. Yeah, you see Pennell plenty of time, and then decides, right, one up through the middle, and is it Mark Mumma just over the top? He doesn't release the ball, and have a look where they are now.
And that's a great kick from Nick Robinson, isn't it? Say they might miss Gavin Henson's siege gun boot, and the crowd right behind Paul Dix, the assistant referee.
Yeah, there's a pot of Bristol supporters right over there. So whether they can hear the call or not, it doesn't matter, but Bristol have to respond, and they've done that superbly. I don't like to think what was said in the changing room, but I think you've got a good idea at home. Premiership.
To be a fly on the wall.
No, you don't. But they've done well. It'll start with the forwards. They're going to come back and win this game and get to the Premiership. It'll start and finish with these boys.
Very well done from Percival and co, but they set the driving ball again. Bristol, that's really good work from this pack who've started this second half superbly, haven't they, Bristol? Another penalty coming, and you wonder whether it might be more from JP Doyle. They're running towards that line, this Bristol pack. Can they get that ball down?
Let go, held up.
It won't be given. They just got it mangled up there. That was super play from Bristol. Jack Lamb at the back actually just got sort of conveyor belted around and got right back into the middle. He got transferred to the back, but I'm sure that ball was held up. He's going back for the penalty to take the 3. People coming in the side, swimming up the side, trying to stop that drive. I would take the 3.
Momentum is with them, Dowie. It's like the first half, all over again.
Well, they've got to score. It's the gamble, the 5-point gamble, possibly 7. They have to score. If they don't, it's just a big fillip for Worcester Warriors. Psychological blow as they were under the cosh in the first 10. They turned down the 3, went for the corner. Is that a little bit of a shake of the head from Andy Robinson? I don't know. We will see. Here we go. Knock on.
It's knocked on. Again, it's one of those moments. It's one of those crucial moments.
I don't think he agreed with the first decision. Not a mind reader, but I think he's thinking go for 3. His philosophy last year was to go into the corner all the time. Well, there's big decisions out there from big players, and there's 2 of them. And now this is a big scrum from Worcester.
Knock-ons at crucial times have littered this game. Remember, Gaston Cortez in the first leg last week. A knock-on at a huge moment. That was another huge moment.
And the last time they scrummed down, they lost one, which came through to that penalty. So here we go.
Zoulier with a fade.
That's tremendous from Bristol.
Good try from Bristol. The referee says just the feet have come away. But this Bristol pack are supercharged at the start of this second half, aren't they? Chris Brooker, Mark Sorensen. Was at Worcester, wasn't he, last season? Ryan Bauer comes on for this young Georgian. Rapava just 24 years of age, part of the future, signed a new contract in January to the Georgian, but it's Ryan Bauer.
There's a real sense that all the momentum right now is with Bristol, and Worcester reacting quickly, changing the front row, trying to stem the flow, as it were. And if they can clear their lines here, then just maybe they can arrest it. But at the moment, it's all Bristol. And it's very, very similar, isn't it, to games gone by.
I hope Ryan Bauer's warmed up, because he's just about to get a bit of heat.
Oh, free kick to Worcester.
Be steady.
He was warm, all right. What a moment for your first act of a championship final. Ryan Bauer, just 23 years of age.
Well, I think
formerly of the John Cleveland College, the first in the same first 15 as Manu Tuolangi, who I believe is in the crowd here tonight. Leicester Academy, great scrum from him, but Worcester missed touch, and it gives chance for Bristol to reignite the momentum that they clearly had in the opening 9 minutes of this second half. Forward pass though. Too many errors at the moment for Bristol.
That's what happens when you're forcing the game, and that really was forcing the game. Just needed to get that ball a little bit back. They're trying to go wide outside Kupavuna. That'll take some doing. But I think initially that penalty came from the scrum because, again, you're not allowed to push until that ball comes in. She'd one pass there. That is forward. You're trying to go over the top of Kupavuna.
And that's why the management teams spoke about controlling the scoreboard from early on, because then you don't have to chase the game. 78% possession for Bristol. It's the opening 10 minutes of the second half.
Well, that goes with 59% in the first half total for Bristol, but that one, well, moment of precision, if you can call it, was a little bit of a lucky kick from Lamb, but a fantastic finish from Pennell. And the clock ticks down. Half an hour to go. Half an hour to go. And Worcester are stemming the flow because it's just one-way traffic. Percival has just smacked his prop. The big South African shone it on the back of his head, said, concentrate. I'm trying to give you everything here. Here he is, the Dark Warrior.
Dean Ryan was hitting golf balls this morning. So what else am I going to do with my time? He said my golf was awful.
I wouldn't let him in those golf balls. Here we go, come on you Warriors. Well, they've got to get the scrum right because Bristol have had two super ones. Well, saying not to give a penalty away, but they're driving hard, they're trying to get the ascendancy here. And JD Doyle rewards them with a free kick, and Peel will want to go. Here he goes.
Sorry now, yeah, free kick to Bristol, Marco Mama. Sam Betty is wrestled on. It is hugely physical again tonight, isn't it? It really is. Robinson, it's long, there's a real chase for it, and Pennell can say, right, Robinson, you go and chase that. Zulia. There's Ryan Lamb, has Kupavuna there as well, Ryan Lamb. That's a little chip, that may work out. No, Peel knocks it on. Kupavuna, often see him in the tight exchanges. Here's Creevin, head down. He wants to leave his club knowing he secured them a place in the Premiership. Ryan Lamb goes, flicks it out the back. Mosses. This is ebb and flow again this week. Thought last week couldn't be topped. But this second leg is doing a very good job indeed. Championship rugby at its very, very finest, with the ultimate pressure on both these teams. Van Veltz said go and play. I'm not sure Dean Ryan meant for Ryan Lamb to do the dinks over the top because there was plenty of space around. Here's Wallace. Marco Mummerer on hand.
It's up to now the Bristol defence to hold, but again it's that lovely offloading game that Worcester to hold the offloading game from Bristol, and the show and go from Robinson.
He's through, half through really. Brooker again. Somebody was in his tee at half-time. Lamb against Kupavuna. That's a great match-up. And Kupavuna bundles the open side into touch. Let's hear from Mike Friday, 53 minutes into this game.
Yeah, I think 53 minutes, I think Bristol have got to be brave. They've got the X-factor on the bench, and I think they've got to be brave at half-back. Kessel and Morgan, I think, when the game's breaking up as it is now, can add real fizz to the Bristol momentum, the Bristol attack. I think Peel and Robinson, they're not having the games that you'd expect of the internationals that they are, and I think Kessel's got a great kicking game, Morgan's got the running game, and maybe, just maybe, they can go out and win this game for Bristol, because we talked about the last 20 minutes, Pat's talked about the last 20 minutes of this Worcester defence. They may tire. Can Percival, can Thomas, can they last the full 80 minutes, or can this Bristol pack with the likes of Perinese on the bench to come, as well as Townsend, assert their physicality in the latter stages. But this game's made for Morgan and Kessel.
Well, Mike, we talked about before the game, you were slightly disappointed that Matthew Morgan didn't start at 15, really to show the cards and have a go at him.
Yeah, I was, but, you know, as this game's unfolded, you can see now as it's starting to break up. If they want to try and go and win this game, they're the half-backs that probably...
Totally agree. Battery's gone down, but we know what Mike was saying. They've got to go for it. Have to go for it.
Perenisi is on for Bristol, wearing 17. Brazulia goes high. There's Lemon. Gets around Kupavuna. It's just no time to think out of there. Two teams we mentioned already, pretty much set up for the Premiership. And it's all but a Premiership game out there, isn't it? Trainer. Bristol again, like they did at the beginning of the first half, throwing everything they can at Worcester. (45-37), the aggregate score. Creevy somehow gets the ball. And then it's Mills and Ryan Lamb. Nick Robinson. Good tackle from him, but Worcester getting those turnovers. Nancy Turner Bristol to get one. And Peel feeds Wallace.
Everybody's calling everybody in the defensive line, whether it be red for Bristol or blue for Worcester. Ball's been turned over all the time, and what a kick. Again, just to calm things down. On to the 22. Ryan Lamb. Well, it was Creevy who made the initial one, coming straight through the middle. That's okay. Talking to the referee, that's allowed. And then look at that for an offload. Williams, who's just dropped that ball up the field. And this is good because everybody thinks Kupavuna is good. Amesbury goes out, but well done, Nicky Robinson. Lamb just shows and goes, but didn't quite have the pace. Robinson does there. Crucial turnovers, best balls in the business.
Creevy again, hugely influential in that there. I remember a game against Rotherham here and Worcester dispatched him, and he'd been dropped. Ryan wanted to get him out a little kick up the rear. Well, Neil Annette was the starting hooker for a good 4, 5, 6 weeks. This man has played exceptionally last week and here tonight.
Yeah, perhaps just to back up what Mike Friday was saying just a few minutes ago, the Worcester pack look dead on their feet at the moment. This game has opened up. It is teed up for Matthew Morgan to come in at 10 and blow it apart. I am absolutely gobsmacked the man's not warming up. Really, really surprised, because there was a kick chase before, they kicked through. Worcester very, very slow to get back and get in position. Again, then from that turnover, the Worcester pack got up, and the first 5 strides were a walk, and they look flat. Morgan stripping off now, just about to come on, no great surprise. He could be the man that turns this for Bristol.
Coming on at fullback though, isn't he? For Jack Wallace. Worcester will have seen that, but it's Percival who takes the line out.
Well, Worcester now have to have their kicking game in place, because they'll have to exit pretty well and kick to compete, have the chase up. Now the penalty, this will be an easy one. This will go just about the halfway line. They won't go for broke. But again, you do not want to kick too much ball widely to Matthew Morgan. We've commentated on many times for Wales under 20s playing at 15. He has torn, well, I know what he's done in the Championship, torn people to shreds. That's why he's the champion player of the season. And he's torn under 20s international size to pieces. What a talent he is.
Where he won his 1 cap for Wales against South Africa in that first test a few years ago. It came on Malia Williams. Former Osprey, of course. Have to get hold of the ball first. Betty, there's Ryan Lamb. Short little angle for Grove that time. Lamb again. It's over the head of Morgan. Turns and takes it well. Uses the left peg. Good kick from him. And he chases as well. Ryan Lamb just eases past him. Don't want to get isolated here, though.
knocked
He
himself
has
out.
been. Bristol have got the ball. Marco Mama. Lamb is space. Tubby. Brooker. Peel is charged out by Ryan Mills. Moss is there just throwing this ball around to try and find the space. And it's Edie again. He did it in the first leg. Pennell with a tackle. Now Morgan bouncing back up. This is Bristol's chance, surely.
Left or right?
But Worcester come through the middle again. And it's that man again in the middle of that front row. Augustine Creevy. What a part. If Worcester go on to win this game, what a part the Pumas play.
And what on earth was Ryan Lamb doing there? I do not know. I've seen him do many miraculous things, but that was one of his worst decisions. Trying to run the ball back. Mitch Eadie just steps out. He hasn't been able to get much ball today, but what he's done, he's always offered himself, whether back at an angle, using his pace. Matthew Morgan, again, the impish little warrior, straight up through the middle, recycling. That goes left to right, that goes left to right. That's a try. And again, as long as you're talking to the referee, you come straight through the middle. I'm sure Andy Robertson will see that differently. He has done that twice now and definitely scored, definitely saved one try, if not two.
3 turnovers, 1 from the hooker. He was the Argentina captain, wasn't he? Before injury struck him down in the autumn. All 6 of the Rugby Championship games last season he was captain.
And he turned up last week, didn't he, at Ashton Gate? He really did. He offered himself around the corner. Sometimes he can go, not so much to sleep, but his work rate can go down. He just sort of builds on the scrum.
Amesbury, an injection of pace. Here's Lemmy. Stepping is David Lemmy.
Tackle only.
Great scramble from Worcester. Peel, Ben Glynn. That's the Worcester try line.
Offside.
Cooper Werner is in at the side.
There's a card
and it may
coming
well
here.
be a yellow card here.
Ball not emerged.
Well, I would just say they have to score, they have to get something. Now there's a decision.
Dwight.
I think it's Cooper
Dwight,
Werner.
come here.
We'll have a look. I think it is.
I want to do it formally. So, if we have a yellow card offence and a player appeals, I'll still give the yellow card, but I'll reverse the penalty. Okay, over here.
He has no messing around, does he, JP Doyle? He does not like people appealing for yellow cards, and I think on this occasion it is the right. The momentum, the shift is with Bristol at the moment. They're down to 14, and the way they've just played, and I've got to say, Ryan Lamb has... No, it's been one of those moments for Lamb.
Mitch Eadie with a line out. Cooper Werner has been yellow carded. Down to 14, Worcester. Now the shot comes on from Bristol. Jack Lamb has scored. As we enter the final quarter of this final, Jack Lamb, one of the men brought in to bolster this Bristol side, has scored a crucial try.
Just on the end of a great surge from Bristol, but it all came about from Ryan Lamb's decision not to kick the ball out, to run it out of his 22. The turnover happened, and they're not quite his namesake. But Jack Lamb is on the back of a good line-out drive, and Nicky Robertson to bring it back on even terms, albeit 1 point on the aggregate behind.
And he does just that, all square on the night.
And this is it for me. That ball just goes downtown. He runs into a flock of Bristol forwards. Picked up the result, penalty into the corner. Mitch Eadie in the van. The surge comes on. Lamb's at the back, and then he just decides, is it now? Is it now? It is now. And not Owen Creevy, who's turned the ball over 3 times, saved Worcester on 2 occasions, I think, from certain tries. Can't even do anything about it. Great execution, great direction, and that was the time to go for the gamble, and it paid.
1 point difference on the aggregate score. Maybe 16-all on that clock in the top left hand of your corner, 16-all, but the one that's important is the 1-in-1. 45-44 for Worcester. They charge down a kick. Here comes Mike Williams. Bristolier.
Back,
Ryan Mills can't take it. Goes backwards, says JP Doyle. Bristolier is going to have to go in there because Bristol are trying to turn that ball over. It's Jack Lamb again. Jonathan Thomas. His leadership absolutely crucial now in this last 18 minutes. Penalty, Bristol. A man again, Lamb, and Peel, he's gone quickly. And Bristol have just ramped up the tempo in the second half, haven't they? And look at the meter gain now for Bristol. Quick thinking from Peel. Quick tap penalty in the first half. Probably wasn't the right decision. This one is.
Mike Williams doing well initially, straight up the middle, losing it. Marco Manuel over the top of the ball. Now it's Lamb again, the try scorer. Over top of the ball. Creevy giving the penalty away. This time Peel doing the absolute correct thing. The experience of the Welsh international. Look at how the pace he's putting on himself there to get up there, to force that ball into touch, to stop Worcester taking a quick throw in, not that they would. There has been a momentum change here, a massive sea change towards the way of the red side to Bristol. They can smell it, they can sense Premiership rugby.
17 minutes remain.
No, come back. Hold on, 8.
Bristolier goes high. Biggs chases this one and times his run really well. Amesbury is involved in that injection of pace, wasn't he? Down the right-hand side. And Worcester turned it over again. It was Jonathan Thomas, and it's Creevy again. But Worcester is slow again to get to the breakdown, and Bristol now make a mess.
Well, he could pay. JP Doyle could give anyone any decision there. There was 3, 4, 5 knock-ons. But I agree. Worcester look out on their feet at the moment.
Nailing it, the try scoring here right to the death of the first leg last week. Comes on for Creevy, his last action in a Worcester shirt, and what finals the Argentinian has given to his club. 6 carries, 5 tackles, 3 turnovers.
Stability.
We can have a quick word now with head coach for Worcester, Carl Hogg. Carl, what messages are you getting onto the field at the moment?
Bind. Set.
We just have to wait as Carl gets his headphones on. Hopefully we can get the bits and pieces sorted out and speak to him in the next break. Peel, Trainer. Peel again for Lamb. Worcester, like in the second half last week, just can't get their hands on the ball in this second half, and Mosses says to Amesbury, chase this one. Does Biggs realise that Amesbury is there? Pennell's there too, though.
12, release.
You know what happened last time Lamb ran it back out, but I think Chris Pennell's slightly bigger lad, holding the ball a little bit better. But they've got to just rely on the structures now. Worcester, as they go through this, need to exit, but they need to exit well. Get the chase up and put some pressure back onto Bristol, and they're kicking to the wrong man.
Matthew Morgan, who will love this broken field, steps 2. Flicks it up for Marco. Mummer and Lamb is there too. It was Lamb. Robinson spins on out for Lemmy. Lemmy onto Tubby. Jack Tubby scores quite simply. the most important try he will possibly ever score for Bristol.
And that's the way to come back. Not saying obviously dead and buried at half-time, they had a heck of a lot of work to do. You kicked to the wrong guy. 1 tackle, 2 tackle, 3 tackle, and then he's just got behind you. The offload can happen. Lamb has just had a sensational second half. Presentation of the ball, Peel on hand straight away. That time Robertson can hit his man. Lemmy now just holds the holds. Superb to Tubby. Tubby finishing, offering himself on the wide outside. I think Andy Robertson was saying it was a poor tackle or a late tackle on Lemmy. It isn't, it's just a tackle. It's absolutely fine. Tubby runs it in, and it has changed full circle in Bristol's favour.
What a second half for Bristol.
Happy enough to.
4 points, the difference on the aggregate. Here a pin drop at Sixways as Nick Robinson adds another 2 to the score. We can now finally talk to head coach of the Worcester Warriors, Carl Hock. Number 1, Carl. How are the nerves, how are the tension up there in the box?
Listen, we always knew it was going to go down to the wire. It has done all season, and it's panning out that way.
What are the messages you're getting on to the players at the moment?
I've just got to hold on to the ball. We've got to get some field position and just hold on to the ball and try and apply some pressure in the top end of the field. Second half, we've been inside our 22 and under pressure all the time. We just got to maintain some high field position and look after the ball.
How much is this Groundhog Day from last week in that second half when you couldn't get hold of the ball again? I guess you're hoping for a similar kind of ending.
Yeah, I think so. I'd say it's always going to go right down to the wire. We just need to be more patient with our possession. Every time we've got in high field position, we've given it away cheaply.
Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Biggs, Brasilia. Bristol with the advantage and the turnover as well. Perenisi. Bristol, with every time that Worcester have possession, they say no. This is our year. We want possession. We want control of this championship final. It has been, for the opening 28 minutes of this second half, a brilliant performance from Bristol. But there is still time left in this game. 6 points, the difference. Morgan.
Go forward, 1.
Nick Robinson.
No, 1, come out. Play.
Pennell goes high. 35 seconds left on the Cooper Vuna yellow card. He's suffered without their star winger, haven't they? May come on. But still have an influence on this game. Eading. Lemmy again. Being chased by Jonathan Thomas. David Lemmy, inside and outside. Flicks it up to Matthew Morgan. And Matthew Morgan goes underneath the posts. And is that the moment that Bristol's 6 years of pain comes to an end? The two genies combining with a moment of brilliance.
And discipline was always going to be crucial. Cooper Vuna's off, 3 tries down that wing. Matthew Morgan just scoring that try, making it look easy. It wasn't easy, but Lemmy doing the correct thing. Backing himself to go outside Jonathan Thomas. That was always going to be then. Was he going to be cut off? Lamb pass, he's been hit, scored a try himself. Mitch Eady just holding up the ball a little bit, then he's round, and what does he do now? What does he do now? Back inside, is his want. Brasilia can't do anything. And obviously Cooper Vuna would have been there. He's under the post. That's 7 points. The kick is clean. The kick is good. And Bristol are very good at the moment.
Red hot David Lemmy thought he was going to score his 46th try for the club, but it was that man, one of the superstars for this Bristol team, and Nick Robinson adds the two. 16-13 on the night.
Well, the big difference whilst Cooper Vuna was off was Worcester's line speed in the back line. And all the talk from the bench was line speed, line speed, line speed. They didn't come, they got stuck in that middle ground, and they just made it so easy for Bristol to take that wide channel. And with the form that Lemmy's in at the moment, well, it was all over, wasn't it, at that point? They've got to make a decision. Either you get up, you cut off those passing lanes, you try and spot the man before it gets out wide, or you hang back and you use the touchline as your friend. At the moment, they're in between the two and they've lost all their confidence.
13 points the difference. And Howard is on. You can see those 3 tries. Lamb, Tovey, Morgan, all in the space of 10 minutes. We knew games at the top level, don't they? Ebb and flow, don't they? Championship or not, this has been 2 finals of superb quality. We knew Worcester would run hot at times. We knew Bristol would run hot at times. And their time between the 60th and 70th minute. And in that time, those 3 tries were scored.
Bind.
Surely there is no way back for Worcester now.
Illegal bind, head on the ground.
Here's
Illegal bind, head on the ground. Forget about it.
the door just opens ever so slightly. By the time Lamb gets this into touch, there will be 8 minutes left. No how effective this driving Maul is, but it can't find his touch. Instead he finds Matthew Morgan, who has been an inspired replacement. Here's Ben Howard.
Anything high there, Dixie?
No, he fell into it.
Like a team of red worker ants at the moment, Bristol. Every opportunity, there seems to be more of them on the field than 15.
Not tackled.
They're just over top of the ball, swarming on the ball, stopping Worcester get hold of any quick momentum, any drive. They've just really come out in this last 40. Superb. I tell you, it was going to be the biggest 40 of their lives, and they've delivered. They have seriously delivered.
Brasilia. Lamb. Cooper Vuna is marshalled by Lemmy. Senatore. Just on the field, Lamb.
Let me go.
Tries that inside ball, but Worcester need to score and need to score very quickly. Time is against them now. They came into this game with a 1-point advantage, remember.
Well, they need 2 converted tries, and that 1 extra point would give them the aggregate, but I'd take it quick and go. Brasilia needs to tap this and go.
13. Where you are?
They don't want to be slow at all.
13.
This just takes the clock down and nudge it into the corner, but I just think they need a bit of jouet, don't they? They need a bit of ball in their hands. They've just been tackling machines for large periods of the second half.
Finished top of the pile, remember, Bristol. The regular season, they beat Worcester. And their place at Ashton Gate in round 1. They beat Worcester here at Sixways in round 22. It was a breathtaking start to the season, wasn't it, between these two sides? This was always going to be the final. Few could predict the outcome of the final.
Early on the lifter.
Mark Sorensen is done. Then Townsend is on.
Early on the lifter.
Lamb goes into the corner again. 6 minutes left. 13 points, the difference on the aggregate. Apologise for any unsavoury language you may have heard. You may have realised the stakes are pretty high. Worcester coming with that drive. They've done it all season. Penalty try.
Guaranteed 7.
JP Doyle runs underneath the 6, and he's going to give a yellow card as well. Dwayne Peel is protesting. It's Max Crumpton, is it, that has been given the yellow card? Ryan Lamb trots away. The drama of this championship final continues. It goes to the last minute.
I don't know, you're a good detective, Mr. Hammond. Who's he giving it to? I don't know whether anyone's gone off yet.
Time off, says JP Doyle.
Help me with my GCS maths here. A converted try makes it 30-30. The aggregate score then goes 1 in the favour as Dean Ryan's nails go down to the quick. That would then give the victory back to Worcester Warriors. 1 converted try needed. JP Doyle is saying, come on, no time wasting, no time wasting, keep going, keep going. Lamb goes off. Jack Lamb is the guy. No, he's not been substituted. He's the guy going to the bin, so he will play no further part. So we are going to get a result, I would say, in the full 80, because Worcester will not be going for penalties. They have to get a try.
What an incredible 4.5 minutes here at Sixways. We suspected this was always going to go right down to the wire. 7 points the difference tonight. 6 points the difference on aggregate. And Bristolier, like last week, makes a break in the final minutes. Jonathan Thomas down to 14 now. Bristol. Bristolier, Ryan Mills, Ben Howard. There's some space for Ben Howard, and he's got bigs on hand. That's the halfway line. Sixways are all on their feet here. They're trying to find Cooper Vuna, Mike Williams, Ryan Mills, David Lemmy with a hand in there. Pennell flicks it back to Ryan Mills. They fire it into midfield with Niall Annett. Worcester coming again now. Bristolier, Ryan Mills, Pennell just opened up for him for a moment, but then Lemmy and Crumpton closed the door. Worcester finally holding on to the possession, and just as I say that, Perenisi turns the ball over.
Man over.
Mosses, Tubby's knocked it on. Jack Tubby's knocked it on, and we still have 3 minutes left.
Oh my word. They had men over there, Bristol, that left. I said I wasn't going to say that was game, but I tell you what, there was an overlap. The cover was coming across, but the pass wasn't crisp enough. It wasn't to hand. And with 3 minutes, the clock is stopped. There we go. That's an outrageous pass. That's going over the top to Amesbury. That is a chance. Tick-tock, the clock goes down. But crucially for the Warriors, they're on halfway with the put-in.
We knew it would be utterly absorbing. And everybody, the players, the crowd here at Sixways, the coaching staff of both teams can just take a moment of breath, because there is some 3 minutes left in this utterly dramatic game. As Joe Rees comes on the field for Nick Shonut.
Crouch! Fine!
Yeah, Bristol packing down with 7 men at this scrum. It's a bit of a risk. They're doing it so they can maintain the defensive line behind the scrum. But look what happened. Big scrum from Worcester.
Lamb, Mills, Howard. Oh! Great tackle, Tommy. Really was. Brasilia, Lamb again into midfield. We had the most dramatic finish last week. Is it going to be history repeating itself? Cooper Boona, just about held by Lemmy, isn't it?
Holding there, coming back offside.
Holding on, Bristol are offside.
Offside,
Penalty is
Go
not
to the
enough.
corner.
This driving maul has been one of the biggest weapons for any team in this championship season. Now is the time, as far as Worcester are concerned, to get it right.
And Lamb has baited the hook there. He hasn't given him 5 minutes out, he's given him about 7. What a kick from a fly half. He hasn't had the complete game, but that was a cool head. He edged it into there. As Pat said, 7 forwards against 8. It's with Bristol, against Bristol. The jump is good, and now the drive.
Timing's good.
They're driving around that right-hand side. It's crabbing infield again now.
18 is legal. 18 is legal. Use the ball.
Metre and a half. Worcester told to use it now. Mike Williams smashes in, as he has done all season. Brasilia and Percival now. Bristol with 14. Boona. Cooper Boona. They're looking for a moment of magic from him. Brasilia again. Oh, Van Veldt! Van Veldt! Advantage coming to Worcester.
Another card.
And it's another card. It's another card. And Bristol again, like in the first leg, are down to 13. Watch the decision here.
9.
You go for a scrum.
49 seconds
I think
left
it's Peel.
on the clock, and it's Dwayne Peel. 7 forwards, no scrum half for Bristol.
That's down to 13. You have to go for the scrum. You control this. You've got
Stability's everything.
49 seconds to go.
Time is off.
This will go in. It'll get to the back. And the push will come on.
Come here.
We saw a famous set of scrums, didn't we, in an England shirt once in Wellington when they were down to 13 players to 6 forwards. Bristol's, well, life in the Premiership depends on this. Worcester's return to the Premiership could be just around the corner.
We said it would come down to 2 finals, to 160 minutes. In effect, it comes down to 1 scrum. You defend this scrum, you're in the Premiership. You score from it, you're in the Premiership. It's going to be there! And it's Chris Pennell for Worcester. They still have to get the conversion. The most intense drama
He kicks it in 15 seconds.
you will possibly ever see on a rugby field. 57-58
Ryan, get on me.
on the aggregate. 28-30 on the night. Ryan Lamb to bring the scores level. But with Worcester, the 1 point advantage coming into tonight. Ryan Lamb to seal a place in the Premiership for Worcester. And it is Worcester who bounce straight back up to the Premiership. The most dramatic scenes here at Sixways. Worcester have done it. At times in that second half, you felt there was only one team in this final, and that was Bristol. But Worcester have shown incredible character to draw this game tonight and win this Green King IPA Championship final, 59-58 on the aggregate. Dean Ryan takes his side back to the Premiership. For Andy Robinson, the pain continues.
And finally the curtain falls on this championship, and what fantastic theatre. 4 heroic halves of rugby. For Bristol, the tears and the trauma to spend at least another year in England's second tier. For Worcester, the wonderful realisation of achievement that they are bound for the promised land of the Premiership. Well done to both sides, but as ever, there can only be one winner, and that is Worcester.